Good morning. Well, I can't help but take an interest in the news. Normally from 1 a.m. on the BBC World Service, there's sort of 2 or 3 minutes of world news, and then they go to sort of business news. But they spent the whole programme, a whole hour, digging into the political shenanigans that are playing out here in Britain. Number 10 Downing Street, the Prime Minister, etc., and all that. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Those whom the gods wish to destroy, they first drive mad. People are talking about unpicking Brexit. Well, Britain physically is joined up through a great big chalk bit. If you look at the cliffs of Dover and you go over to France, they've got similar chalk. Oh dear. Dardanelles, is that it? Dogger Bank. Yeah. I mean, what a horrid little man. Nothing that he's tried to put into place. This is the former Prime Minister of Britain, who's still trying to cling on in there. I worked in business. I was managing director of a small computing company. In business, you're sacked and they clear your desk and you're out within 5 minutes. That's it. You don't go back. I mean, the man's a dead duck. No one's going to listen to a word he says. Nothing he can do or doesn't do now will make the slightest bit of difference to anyone. They're all just saying Yahoo sucks. Bog off, Boris Johnson. Just bog off. Take your floozy with the sprogs and bog off. What about your real life with the 4 other children? Oh dear, here we go. I mean, it beggars belief. I'm a Christian. I must love my neighbour. I don't know if I like them though. Not when they behave like that. He is clearly the worst Prime Minister Britain has ever had. I've been listening to some historian analysing this stuff. Absolutely excoriating this little man. Historically, that his legacy historically is going to be massively negative. Yes, the world's in a mess. Ukraine, Russia, China is basically sort of siding with Russia. Well, that's a bit of a problem, because there's something called America across the big pond, and all of them have got hordes of nuclear weapons. Chuckle. Gee whiz. Not much good in being a Christian if they're going to push the nuclear button, is there? Well, there is. I am a Christian. I believe I love God through Christ. If they push the nuclear button, I get frazzled. It's relatively unlikely up here in the northeastern corner of England, actually, as it happens. Curiously, That's actually one of the positives if I looked at it in that light. I mean, you don't want to be living in London, do you? If they push the nuclear button, because presumably London would be one of the main targets. Whereas up here in Northumbria, northeast corner of England, one's sort of out of the way a bit, really. That is not why I'm living here. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, man. I mean, it's just utterly beyond words, actually. This whole saga, the last few days worth of it. I'm listening to my old monks singing in Latin, all right? They're Carthusian monks. St. Bruno, the pivotal date is 1084, the year 1084. Ils habitent dans les montagnes vers le sud-est de la France. So they live in the mountains, middle south of France, and they produce that wonderful liqueur called Chartreuse. I think it's got 100 and something, 30 herbs in it, and you can get a green one or a kind of pale yellow one. But the alcohol is 53%, but it just tastes so nice. I mean, you just have a sip and you think, oh, I'll have another little one of those. Yeah, and then you're in trouble. Oh, I did buy a bottle once and it was over £40, £45 just for a single bottle. I had to order it as well because they didn't have it from a specialist drinks place, not from the supermarket. In Harpenden, actually, down south in Hertfordshire. God is God. I mean, this is just human beings just showing how awful they can be. All of them there, clapping him on. Oh, please. Anyway, happy thoughts. How can we get to some happy thoughts? It's a beautiful starlit morning, because I checked. Second Book of Kings, chapter 19. According to the king, Ezekiel. I just like the sound of French. Well, I'm just sort of watching the passing scene, quite frankly, in utter, total, staggering amazement. I shall return to the news again now. The old BBC World News is pretty good at digging into this stuff. But really, I mean, I am genuinely ashamed to be British with this going on. I am a Christian, though. I am not ashamed of being a Christian. Amen. Cheerio.